2 o'clock today, Tuesday the 14th of April, of the Regulatory and Services Committee. Welcome everybody. This isn't so new to all of us, but this is the first meeting, so under the circumstances it's really good to have everybody together, so thank you all for attending, presumably in your bubble, and we'll move on. Have any apologies? Did we receive an apology from Councillor Godfrey?
Yes, he's just logging in, Madam Chair, and so is Councillor Savage. Okay,
so they'll be with us shortly.
And Glenn will just be a bit late. He's still working on the regional project list. They're finalising that to go off to Wellington today.
Okay, thank you, Russell. Okay, so we'll move through public forum. Unfortunately, not at this time. Any declarations of conflict of interest, committee, with this agenda, please? There being none, we'll move into Part A, regulatory. Item number 1, monthly report, regulatory and planning services, pages 1 through to 11 of your agenda.
Just through you, Madam Chair, on page 2, 1.5, was there not some very nice stuff in the rubbish bins?
Through you, Chair, no, this was a case where somebody had been depositing animal fecal matter outside the properties, and the properties were simply asked to if they saw anything or knew of anything, to contact us so that we could follow it through.
Thank you for that. And the only other query I have is on page 4, 1.82, district plan review. How often do we do this review, please?
The review is required by statute on a 10-yearly basis.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Julian. Any further questions of Chris's report, committee?
Yes, through you, Chair. Just, I think I know the answer to this, but item 1.1, the dog attack. Chris, I take it there was no further action in the way of court action against the dog owner?
No, there wasn't in this case. Through you, Chair. Our general approach that we take is if the owners do all the right things, we leave it at that, unless there's something involved that really necessitates us to go further.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you. I'm happy to move, the Chair, if there's no further discussion.
Just hold on.
Oh.
Yes, Your Worship.
Hold on, thank you. 7, page 3, 6th bullet point down, Chris, if you can. Just to bring us, to make us clear, Kawerau may be asked to assist in identifying sites for freedom campers and also community-based assessment centres. Can you just add a little bit to that, please?
Yes, thank you, through you, Chair. In regard to freedom campers, all freedom campers, as I understand it, or campers have been in the Eastern Bay of Plenty, have been appropriately located, so it's not expected that we would be called on to identify any sites for that purpose, assuming that nobody is travelling as they're supposed to not be doing. And the second one, in relation to the community-based assessment centres, the Toiti Order has been in contact with both Lee and Hanu, and an assessment centre has been set up, as I understand it, at the recreation centre, but
yes,
there was some debate as to site location. So that's available, I think, on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. I'll be corrected on that one.
Yes, it is, through your Chair. I see it's in action right now. I'm just wondering whether they're doing much business out of it all. I don't want them to stop that if they are a bit concerned they're not getting a lot of business, but it's quite a setup, to be honest. Just not very far from the back of my shop, so I saw it there this afternoon coming down, and what sort of I think it's a good idea, but it's just to make sure that that they are getting some customers there.
Through you, Chair, I'm sorry, I'm not able to comment on that. I think it's probably a matter that should have been, perhaps we should have had Lee here to answer that question, but there may be another forum we can deal with.
Sure.
That.
Yep. No, that's fine. Thank you, Chair.
I can confirm last week before Easter, it was extremely busy and it looked very well run. Just a comment. So any more questions of Chris's report, committee? There being none, we have a mover, Councillor Sparks. Can I have a seconder, please?
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Rangahika. We have a mover and a seconder. All those in favour, thumbs up.
Aye.
Thank you, Councillor Julian. And all those against? The recommendation is carried. Thank you. Moving along to item 2, Part B, non-regulatory. Monthly report of the Finance and Corporate Services Manager, pages 12 through to 17. Committee, any questions of Peter's report for this month or for last month? So we'll take the quietness as a good thing.
I'm happy to move if there's no discussion.
Chair, sorry, my apologies once again. I was just waiting for my phone to stop ringing. Just a matter of observation here. Looking at our sunshine hours and our temperature, so much for global warming. But I have to say that obviously the sunshine hours have had a little bit of effect, but more than that, our lack of rain. It seems to be what we were running a bit foul of more than a drought. I think it was the lack of water was more of a problem than anything else. But it looks like our temperatures are actually going down. Thank you.
I think we went down about 5 degrees this afternoon, Your Worship.
Yeah, it certainly did.
Storm. Okay, any further questions? Any questions of Peter's report? There being none, we have a mover. Thank you, Councillor Julian.
Happy to second, Chair.
We have a seconder, Councillor Sparks. All those in favour?
Aye.
All those against? Recommendation is carried. Item number 3 today on your agenda, monthly report, operations and services. Pages 18 through to 21 of your agenda.
Yes, just through you, Chair. Page 20, item number 5, the Parks and Reserves. I actually meant to raise this earlier, but those of you that, like me, use Stone and Walk regularly, we note the sort of the bare hillside, which is existing behind the behind Bell Street. So from Okanoki Crescent right down to the bottom end of Bell Street. So my concern here, Hanno, is what is the plan? Is there going to be replanting? I'm thinking of erosion. I can appreciate, of course, the need for the mature trees to be taken down, but we need to be doing something about reinstatement.
Yes, that whole site's to be replanted. So Bernard Finches and his team already have ordered thousands of trees and plants to put up there. So it will be replanted. I'm not sure it was supposed to happen in April, and if this has been delayed by the shutdown, or it was supposed to happen in May. I can't remember now the exact date this was supposed to be done. But they've already spent the money to purchase those trees.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you.
Just a further point to that, we had raised before that it might be quite good to have community planting, because we have in the past and years we've actually had community planting.
I'm pretty sure that will not be an issue. I'm sure we can have volunteers and come and help the team. Well, it's a bit, I saw the number of plants they bought. It is a really large number. I can't remember the exact number, but it's a lot of plants. So anybody who wants to come and help plants would be very welcome, I believe.
Just another point there, Hanno. Those plants, are they native, all native plants, or some exotic? Or?
I would hope they're only natives. I don't know. Bernie is the guy who knows the plants and he knows what ones is most suited for there. So I would be surprised if it's not just natives, but
Okay.
I don't want to say it's only natives and then there's other stuff in there. So I assume it's mostly natives.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wondering, page 19, item 2, wastewater. Just wondering, Hanno, has the lockdown had any impact on the volumes from the dairy factory? Is that why there's been is that why it's been operating efficiently without incident?
The Waiu factory has been classified as an essential service, so they're running full steam with full staff and full operations. There's no slowdown of their operations, because we discussed this before the time, and they said no, they are running flat out. So we shouldn't be seeing anything different.
That's good news, Hanno.
Yes, well, we try to be positive. We're thinking that, you know, that the changes that Rian's made to the plant has made it more resilient to these hiccups, one, and two, that Waiu is starting to sort out all the little operational problems they've had, and those things are a thing of the past, and we only will occasionally see problems from them, and that's what we're hoping.
Awesome. Also on page 19, 1.3, reticulation, just I see there that the only issues have been around the dirty water filters. Those are the consumers' issues that they have to deal with. They're not a responsibility of council, are they? Just a bit of clarity. Because it's filters they have put in themselves, isn't it? Is it filters they have put in?
It's something
Homeowners?
that it's something they put in themselves. It's something that at some point we may have to discuss, because there was suggestion, if you don't want to ruin your water, put filters in. It's still their decision, but now we can't have perfectly clear water at this stage. So the filters are going to block up. So whether we're liable to something, council at some point have to go and think about and make a decision on. I've told them that, you know, it's their decision to put the filters in.
There was only two. There was only two. Was it 2 water filters? Just going back to 1.2, was it 2 water filters out of Kawerau as a whole?
Well, we've got people who complain and people who don't. So we've got 2 people who complain a lot. And then there's people who occasionally complain. So probably it's closer to a dozen different people that have complained throughout this whole year period. But once, I'm pretty sure there will be many, many more. People just don't complain.
Noted. It's noted. Thank you.
And thank you, Hanno. Just noting on page 20, item number 7, refuge collection, just the way, maybe my bad, the way I read it first up, it sounded like we weren't taking green waste and recycling, but can we just be clear on that, it is good to read there were no issues, number 1, but the second part of it, just the second sentence, that it is all going in one bin, as we all know. So the green waste and recycling collection, even though it's been put on hold for shutdown, it's all being removed in one bin. Is there any update on that? That's still working well?
Yes, we have to talk Peter Christopher, if the CSOs have complaints. I've not received angry phone calls from people. So from what I know, there's no problem, but you know, it might be they just don't phone me. I've not, so Peter Christopher will be better answer from the CSOs if there's been a significant complaints. But the bins are big enough for them to put everything in.
Yep, understand. Yep, it's just the way I read it. Yep.
Sorry, I wrote it badly.
Yeah. Thank you. Any further questions of Hanu's report, committee? There being none, we have a recommendation. Can I have a move, please?
Happy to move, Chair.
I think I caught Councillor Kingy there and Councillor Sparks. You're happy to second? We have a mover and a seconder. That's Councillor Kingy and Councillor Sparks. All those in favour?
Aye.
All those against? The recommendation is moved. Thank you. Moving on to our last item on this agenda, item number 4, monthly report, economic and community development. Doesn't look like Glenn's quite made it yet, so we'll work it. Having said that, nope. Russell, we'll come to you if that's okay.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so pages 22 through to 25 of this agenda.
Just through you, Chair, I see when it comes to the Provincial Growth Fund that there is another unit, the Provincial Development Unit. So once we get sort of our money, have we then got to go back through another unit before we can start?
No,
sort of have our plans verified.
Through you, Chair, the Provincial Development Unit administers the Provincial Growth Fund from an official's point of view. So it's always been the PDU that we've dealt with.
Right, thank you for that. And the only other point I have is on page 24, the monthly statistics. How are we going about getting that people counter right? Because my understanding is we have a new one in, because the other one was affecting people's cars. It seems to be quite a long, drawn-out process.
There'll be no work being done on it at the moment. The eyesite's closed and we won't be sending staff in to do it till we're back open again.
I think from our previous council meeting that was discussed as well. I mean, after COVID lockdown, certainly something will be looked at. Yeah, so thank you. On page 24, just acknowledge the 2 eyesight staff that are leaving or have left, Lizzie Terere and Tauimana. Acknowledge the supports they put in place during management changeovers and ensuring that visitors were well looked after during their time with the eyesight whānau.
Through you, Chair. Can I just acknowledge, please, the report that Glenn has done for the KFID partnership. It's bringing us up to speed of what is actually going on down there, even though it's increased a little bit better than the speed it was going at before. But can I just get it straight? Councillor Julian mentioned, when did we get our money? I don't think it's our money. It doesn't come to Kawerau District Council. Russell, can you just bring us up on speed on that, please?
Yeah, so the 3 applications, they'll go to the partners that have applied for it. So council's helped, but I don't know where they're at with getting their money, but they will go to the owners of those infrastructure. It'll be to Kawerau, it'll be to the off-road highway owners, and it'll be to Putuaki Trust in terms of their developments on their land.
And I just, through you, Chair, I just saw a report down here about a geotech report maybe having to be done, on the 3rd bullet point down, which will be informed by geotech for any preloading requirement. And I think this is what Doug Leader was alluding to today, was we need to start moving a lot of that along and get rid of some of those stopgaps in the system. These things can get stretched out a little bit like our pool one did. Remember when our bars, when we shifted the changing room by 6 foot, and about 6 weeks later they decided to do something about it. So it just needs to stop all that, carry on, and let's get on with it. So thank you.
Thank you, Bishop. Any further comments through to Russell, please, of Glenn's report? There being none, we have a recommendation.
Happy to move it, Chair.
Happy to second.
Sorry, who did I have there for seconder?
Yeah.
Oh, got you, Aaron. Okay, thank you. We have Councillor Kingy and Councillor Hiko. Move in second. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
All those against? The recommendation is carried.
So Chair, just before we are at the end of our agenda, I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Russell and the team over the weekend. Been a lot of work going in right around the Bay of Plenty, I have to say, with our teams, and obviously Glenn that's where he is at present, getting that report ready to go to Wellington today. So important at this point in time. So Russell, to you and all the team, everybody around, thank you very much on behalf of the whole community and in the Bay of Plenty. Thank you.
Thank you, and also to Ian Morton and Carl Graydon, who have done a lot of work helping coordinate it in the Eastern Bay.
Sure.
Thank you, team. And we will, yep. And we will close this meeting, but don't go away, everybody. We've got a few other items, but for this meeting, we will close at 2:23. And thank you all for your attendance and commitment for today and going forward. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.